here. Right, evening, guys. It's another lovely January. Welcome to the Cofi Business Network. Tonight we got Mike, and Mike's going to give us a quick overview of Google Ads. Now, like I just said, guys, it seems like a lot of money, but we really should be spending more money on marketing our businesses. It may hurt, okay, but that's the key. I mean, I'll only give you a quick guidance today. I want you guys to go for all the things you pay for, CRM systems, chat GBT, okay? And I'm going to say this right now, okay? They are not making you money. If you're spending £25 a month now on chat GBT and you don't use it much, my advice is turn it off, take that money, spend it on marketing. You're spending it anyway, you might as well spend it somewhere that's going to benefit you in the long run, okay? And now I've said that, over to you, Mike.
Yeah, that's a good introduction. Yeah, thanks for having me this evening, by the way.
That's all right.
Yeah, I just curious, like in the room at the moment, is there anyone who is running Google Ads or has run Google Ads in the past?
I have run Google Ads.
You have, Rob.
And how do I put it bluntly? If there was a level of failure, I'd be a gold medalist at Google Ads.
Okay,
I
okay,
just cannot get it right at all. In fact, I've given up trying, Mike, put it that way.
okay. I mean, I've failed lots of times as well. I mean, that's how you learn. That's how you get that's how I got the techniques that work, because you do that mainly by failing and finding out what works, what doesn't work. So it's not the end of the world if you don't succeed at Google Ads right from the get-go. It is a learning process, but hopefully I'll speed up that process for you in tonight's presentation. Am I okay to share the screen, Rob?
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, it's all open.
Brilliant. I have got a PowerPoint-ish presentation. I don't want to make it too boring. So any input would be appreciated as well. And if you have any questions, just butt in and ask the questions. So I don't want it to be too kind of just one way. Just make sure I cover everything that's needed. So first off, just a bit about myself, like why you should listen to me. So I've been 10 years in the marketing industry. I've run Facebook ads, Google ads. I also help with local search engine optimization, which is basically Google Maps, getting businesses found more readily in the Google searches, local searches. I specialize also in Google Analytics. So that's an important part of what I do, whether it's Google ads, Meta ads, or any type of ads, to be honest. And I also give one-to-one training as well on how to implement Google ads and Meta ads in your business. So a bit of background as well. I in 2020, 2021, I was drafted in to help Rick Stein with his Steins at Home brand, which was his new initiative after the lockdown. Because as you can imagine, during lockdown, he had to close down all of his restaurants and had to find another product to sell. And Steins at Home was the solution, which was a home delivery service for his food. And maybe some of you here have ordered it. I don't know. And the marketing campaign won an award in 2021. And this is a clip from the article. For the first quarter of 2021, for every £1 spent on marketing, the campaign generated £10 in return. So it had a 10-to-1 return on ad spend, which is good going, and it was very profitable. And these are some of the other businesses I've worked for. Some are national brands, some are more local, but there are a wide range of businesses, like with Rick Stein on one end and Ben's Gutters on the other. Also, I'm a Google partner as well, so I have to hit certain KPIs to be able to keep wearing the badge of Google Partner. But yeah, I think I kind of work hard enough to earn it, and then that gives me rewards, and I can kind of help clients um, with free promotional codes. Well, not free advertising as such, but promo codes, which gives them money off their advertising. Right. So are you with me so far? Hopefully you are. So Google advertising platforms. So what a lot of people don't always realize is how many Google advertising platforms there are. People think of Google as just Google search, but there are also various other networks. One is local search ads, which is I'll explain later what it is. The next one is YouTube, which is sometimes people don't realize that is part of Google Ads. The display network, Google Shopping, Gmail, Discover, and the AI search, which is not yet running in the UK at least, but will be coming soon. So you'll start seeing ads in your AI search results. So this is an example of a regular search ad. I'm sure you've all seen those, and Rob's probably run ads like this before. This is an example of a local search ad. They're now called Google Guaranteed. They're mainly for like home service businesses like plumbers, electricians, locksmiths, etc., etc. And if you join the local search ad network, it means that you can have this little badge, and it basically increases the customer's trust in your business. It's not available to all.
Quick question there, Mike. When you
Yeah,
search
sure.
normally, okay, it sort
Yeah,
of goes. The first three positions are normally Google paid ads, the main one. The next sort of two or three are what we call Google local listings, not
yeah.
not paid. And then below there, then you have what we call the generic SEO, which then starts number seven. Okay, where does local? I don't recall seeing local search appear anywhere.
Yeah, it appears. I mean, Google tend to show the search results that it thinks you will respond to. So in some cases, when you get the map pack of the three, three local. Say you search for a local plumber, and you get the organic results. Above that, there sometimes is a sponsored Google map result.
So basically, because I'm advising most of the guys to start their own Google local pages. Okay, but that takes time
Yeah.
to generate its way through the system. We could shortcut it by doing the Google local search ads, what would technically push us to number one locally straight away. And it's only obviously, I assume, in your local area.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, there is a bit to add to that. No, yeah, local search ads, they do appear as Google Maps results. Also, for example, Google search can sometimes appear as a Google Maps result as well if you have a Google page. So it depends. The algorithm sometimes will show your ad either as a kind of just a text ad to say, saying that Rob's business as a organic search result. But if you have a Google page and you link it to your ads, you can also appear as a map result as well for local people.
And why is it limited to certain business? Because obviously, a butcher's and a baker's is a local business. So why has it been sort of limited to more of what I call trades and not just businesses?
Okay, so I'll explain that with local search ads, uh, they are that you have to kind of fulfill certain criteria for local search ads, and you have to kind of show insurance, adequate insurance, membership of a local trade, and you basically that will appear that ad will appear in the maps only and nowhere else. And everything is done via the maps. Review people get, if you're a part of the local search ad network, you can kind of you can send people review links from the ad, and it gets added to your Google business page.
Okay.
But if you're not one of these, because that just means you got the guaranteed bit on it, yeah. You got the tick, which gives people confidence. That doesn't mean that, but that's only available to a certain number of businesses. But every business, if you have a Google business page, has a potential of appearing in the Google Maps as a search result if they link their Google map to Google Ads. Does that make sense?
It does, because that's quite a powerful tool. Because obviously, the reason
Yeah,
why Google local works are a map appears and actually shows you the location of the business, that itself installs trust. Um,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it shows your reviews,
yeah,
uh, for example, whereas a regular search result doesn't always show your reviews, but a Google Map result will.
okay.
And that's why one of the things I do would be a tip to anyone who's looking at running Google Ads is make sure that you link your Google Maps account to your Google Ads. And therefore, I'm not saying it doesn't mean that your map result will appear in every single case, but it's got more of a chance of
And you
appearing
do that from within your Google local account, don't you?
within your Google Ads account. Yeah, if you open a Google Ads account, you'll have an option to link different Google products, and one of them will be your Google Map.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite a handy thing to do, and it gives you a location, especially if you're a local business. Obviously, if you're a national business, it's very unlikely you'd appear in the local search results. But if you're a local business, it's no brainer really.
Yeah, it's just one of the reasons I try and get people to stay local is we've been advised, I quote, by bigger businesses and Google that because the world is massive and we should be doing marketing campaigns to do the world. And I say to all the guys, yeah, but most of your clients most probably live next door to you,
Yes.
and your
Yeah.
money will go further if you narrow down your search area and stuff as well. And I think one of the things this is for is to try and get people to understand that, you don't need a lot of money to market locally if you're targeting to the right people. It can be quite a
Yeah.
cheap
Exactly.
campaign. If you try nationally, instead of targeting 5,000 people, you're targeting 5 million people. It's not going to work properly because you're spreading it too far, aren't you?
Yeah. Absolutely. And that is, without going on a tangent, one of the reasons why Google reps are sometimes not don't always give the best advice because their advice is tailored for businesses that have big budgets,
Yes.
and their advice will work if you have like spending thousands of pounds a month on ads. But if you're a local business, their recommendations can make you not bankrupt, but they can certainly use up your money before you know it. And I've seen it happen so many times where a local business has taken advice of a Google rep, and it's gone wrong because they've applied techniques which are more suited for a national business or an international business. So, any more questions on that? Or was that cover it for now? It's a big area um, of discussion. That one. So, local search ads. Next one is display ads. So, display ads are Google ads which appear on other people's websites. That is, if that website is selling space on that website for ads to Google, then the website will display your ads. If it's a display campaign, which is a separate campaign you run inside the Google Ads dashboard. So, and usually you got a bit more, I suppose, they look more like ads as we know them with images and lots of a lot more visual display ads. So that's another option, and they do tend to be a bit cheaper as well, display ads, because they don't necessarily obviously don't appear when someone's searching for an ad, for example, on the search network. Usually that person is, really kind of wants that service, is really trying to solve a problem, and therefore the cost is going to be a bit higher for the click. With display ads, it's a bit cheaper because it's less. The lead and the user is not as hot, but they can be warmed up maybe by the ad, or maybe by being put into a sales funnel to then warm them up to purchase something. So that's it's probably a good way if the budget is a bit low, or you have a product which is a bit more, it's not got a high search level, but you just want to get leads into your business. Next one is shopping ads. I'm sure you've seen these when you've been searching for products, whether it's like a new TV or a new pair of shoes. You see the Google shopping feed appear at the top. You have the sponsored ones, sponsored ads, and then you have the organic below it. So that's another option. And obviously, it's very good. That's a good option, or the best option, if you're running ads from a e-commerce website. You're selling products. Right. So they're the main types of ads on Google. One thing you can do with Google Ads is retargeting, especially when it comes to Google Shopping. Like this stat here, 72% of online shoppers will abandon their cart and only 8% will come back. But if you use retargeting ads on Facebook and Google, that will increase to 26% coming back. And these retargeting ads, display ads, are a good way of retargeting your customers, or of your potential customers, and get them to come back and purchase something. Yeah, a bit more about remarketing. So you can target previous customers. You can upload email lists of past customers and retarget them. That's you can do that in the Google Ads platform. You can target previous website visitors by putting a tag on your website and then showing ads to them to get them back to the website. Because a lot of people, visit a website and they go somewhere else, and they could be visiting your website. The wife then calls them, or the husband calls them and says dinner's ready. They go and get dinner, then they forget about what they were searching for. So if you have a remarketing tag on the website, you can get that person back onto your website and taking an action, such as buying something, or maybe leaving their name and address to find out more information about your service. Also, retargeting used intelligently increases familiarity with your brand, which will increase your conversion rates and obviously your return on investment. So my top 7 Google Ads tips. My first one is to work out your cost per customer. Before, some businesses have a good idea of this, but some businesses don't. To give you an example, if a customer to you is worth, say, several £1,000s, then it's definitely worth spending a bit of money on ads to get that customer. If that customer is only worth a small amount of money, then there may not be. It might, you might have to kind of make sure, choose a Google Ads strategy which will suit that particular customer. One thing to take into account as well is the lifetime value of a customer, because you can have some customers who, when they purchase something, it may not be a great amount, but they may come back again and again and again on some subscription service, for example, or the example of, say, gutter cleaning. They may respond to the ad, spend maybe a couple of £100 on getting their gutters cleaned, but that customer could then be worth thousands of pounds if they come back to you again and again and again. So even if you spend £100 to get that customer, you're certainly in profit if that customer comes back again and again and again. And if you have information, have a history of your business where you can get people back and get them back to your business buying again, then that would be something to take into account when you're working out your cost per customer. Because the big question always is, how much should I spend on Google Ads? And it's a difficult question, but that will help, hopefully, for you to work out what you should be spending to spend on Google Ads, so you know how much you're going to spend to get a customer. So some customers, if you've got a very high-end product that's maybe you sell it and it's £10,000, £12,000, then you've got to kind of spend a bit of money realistically to get that customer. The only caveat to that is that and it's another tip a bit further down, goes into it more as well, is that make sure that when you're starting off, that you basically have the other tips below it in place to make sure that when you are spending the money, you're getting more bang for your buck. So the second tip is making sure your website is well designed, because you can have the greatest ads in the world, but if your website landing page isn't up to standard, then people will bounce off it and you'll be wasting your ad spend. So make sure, for example, some tips on website landing pages is make sure that the website is fast. Put it through Google's speed index to make sure the website is running fast enough. Put lots of reassurances on the landing page, like testimonials, for example, or how long you've been around, guarantees if you're selling a physical product, and make the website as simple as possible. Keep it simple and make it easy for a person to take an action on that landing page. Don't make it hard, because people will just bounce off and go somewhere else. So when you paid for that click, you want to make sure that when they go to your website, that click, you get the full value of that click when they take an action on the website, either as a lead or as a conversion. The next important thing is to measure important actions on your website. For example, if you're selling a physical product, make sure that you're measuring every time a person buys something, so you can see that that product was sold as a result of your Google ad. Or if you're selling a service, make sure that when someone submits their information, their phone number, telephone number, email address, and click the submit button, that action is recorded, so you know that that lead came from the ad campaign. and that is something that you do in the Google Ads dashboard, and it's certainly something Google push you to do. Sometimes they try and make it look complicated, but it's relatively simple to do. Also, the added advantage of giving Google that information is that every time a person takes an action on your website that is valuable to you, then Google will then find more people like that to take that action. So you're training Google at the same time that that's the action you want people to take, and you want these people to find people similar to those people who took that action, because they're the people that you want. So the next one is give the campaign enough time. The algorithm needs time to learn. So it's if you've been running ads before and you have some idea of, and there is you have some prior information in the account, it doesn't take quite so long to get going. But if you're starting a campaign from scratch, the algorithm needs time to learn, and usually the result, it's a bit like anything. Like, for example, if you've used ChatGPT, you'll notice that the more you use it, the more intelligent it gets, and the more it gives you what you want, hopefully, anyway. The same with Google. Google is AI. Google has to learn from your campaign how people are responding to it in order for it to give you better results. So be patient. I'm not saying don't don't do nothing at all if it's not working. But you probably, when you're starting off, you need to give it, I would say, 3 months. I would say give it a go for that amount of time. Factor that into your budget. I'm not saying it would take that long, but realistically, it might do. But it can. I've seen it happen where it's getting, nothing really happens for quite a while, and all of a sudden the campaign takes off, and it's almost runs by itself once it's learned enough about about your customers or your leads. So it's worth being patient, and don't spend don't spend so much that you've really don't overspend either on ads in that early period, because you'll be kind of quite nervous about the money that's being spent with less results usually. But say it's not a hard and fast rule. Sometimes you can get results pretty fast, but I'm being responsible really from my experience that sometimes it can take a bit of time also for ad campaigns to get going. Next one is don't set and forget. Keep monitoring the campaigns, because if you just leave it, and I've known it where people have, businesses have set up a campaign, come back, and they spent loads of money with no results. And sometimes what can happen is when you're setting up the campaign, you can make a mistake either with the budget or some other issue. And if you don't come back soon, if you leave too much of a gap between coming back to the campaign, then you may get a shock and find that you've spent loads of money, or you've been targeting the wrong country. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And obviously the seventh tip is to join my community on School, which is free. So any questions? I think I've talked quite a lot, and hopefully not bored you to death.
I'll start, Mike.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right. So with budgets, okay, obviously if you have got products that are repeat sales, like for instance, there's people in the group who do things like teas, and soaps. Now, these aren't high profit products, but they are going to be repeat products over a long time.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
knowing that, where you might have a product where you might be making £4 or £5 per product, but you wanted someone to keep buying it and buying it and buying it, and they'll buy it every month, okay, from you. Okay. How would you go about set up that budget and things? Would you say to them to spend X amount and do that for a month to see how it goes, and then twiddle it at the end? Because obviously you're not going to be spending thousands. It's not going to be budget friendly, is it, for that sort of product, especially if you're new.
yeah. At first, it's best to be more cautious when you're spending the money because the algorithm is learning, so the results won't be as good as it would be when it's in its full swing and the campaign's in its momentum.
And then obviously there's clicks, what you pay for the clicks. Obviously, you can set that as well. Okay, so you can set your budget on clicks. Is there a sort of minimum? Is there a minimum budget you would say a month to spend on Google if you was on a real tight budget and your product's not high end things? Is there a sport? I mean, like, could you get away with say like £5 a day, for instance?
You can get away with £5 a day on the display network because I've ran ads that have been £5 a day on there. On the search network, it's probably £10 a day you can get away with. It does depend on the keyword because the search campaign relies a lot on keywords and cost per clicks, and some keywords, which are the words that people search with, can be, depending on the competition in the market, can be quite expensive.
That's what I mean. Now, earlier on, you said, I'll quote you here, that the Google ad campaign is not hard to set up. Now, it's not hard to set up, Mike, if you go through the initial process and set it up. Going back into Google afterwards and trying to work out what's going on right now, it's a horrendous nightmare, and I know what I'm doing, if that makes sense. I'm always trying to find things. There's things they
Yeah,
seem to
yeah,
just put things everywhere on the assumption you know where it is. It's just so off-putting, it's unreal.
yeah. They did try to simplify it last year or the year before, but it's still
Really?
not
This is
quite.
simplified.
That is a simplified version, yeah, which is not very simplified at all.
I mean, I know you go to it and you go, right, there's my ad. You go, okay, right, let's find my ad there. Okay, what am I spending? Or where's that? I don't know. How do I find my keywords? Oh, it's gone again. Where's that? And just even the basics is not
Yeah,
easy to find anymore.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. It's unless they the difficulty is if they make it too simple and puts more power into Google's hands, and you have less control over what Google is spending your money on.
I wouldn't say simple. It's the layout.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If that makes
Well,
sense. It's
can be
all there, but they've done it in a way where if you click on even if you click on a job, it's not all there. And I'd say for
yeah,
anyone who's starting from scratch, they're not getting around that panel.
yeah, yeah. I mean, saying that, it's probably simpler than Meta's dashboard.
Oh, Meta's
That's
a joke. I mean,
uh,
they're even worse.
that's the only one kind of you know the one thing that's probably harder than Google dashboard is the Meta dashboard. One thing that is a bit of a joke. Yeah, it is a joke. I mean, it's again, there is an expert in Google. There is an expert mode, and there's a simpler mode, and it's difficult because the simpler mode is simpler, obviously, and it's actually quite hard. Even though it's the simpler mode, and it takes control of a lot of the spending and the keywords, etc., into Google's hands, and they say
But then the problem then is then they're not doing the right thing for you. They're
they
doing the
don't
right
always
thing
know.
for
Yeah,
them.
they don't always know. I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic technology. Don't get me wrong, but the algorithm doesn't always know your business as well as you know it. So having
Because
the
obviously, for you to set up, I mean, for the way I look at it is I look at the mass behind what we do as business owners. Okay, and there's a line, and here's the line: how long will it take me to learn this and do it myself? X. That's a figure. Okay, then when I've learned, I'm still going to be an amateur and know what I'm doing. Why? Okay. And then I'm going to spend half my time trying to work out this panel, which is Z, that gives a figure. Okay. And that figure is going to be astronomical. Okay. Or you go route A and you go, what can you do it? Because obviously you did it. You'd go click, 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 save, done, because you know where to go. And it
Yeah,
seems like a
yeah,
much more cost effective, especially with this, because this is not you're not making a simple picture or an advert. You're trying to grow your business. And I'm pretty confident that 99% of people that do their own advertising on Google and Facebook are struggling because not because they don't, it's because they can't find what they want to find or the right keywords or the right where do you want to go? Do you want to go on the display network, the local network? It doesn't really explain those to you at all
yeah.
whatsoever. And I
It's
think that's
surprisingly, yeah, it's a surprising lack of information, even from Google, about it. You know, they publish blogs that no one ever sees
they
about
do. I
all.
mean, you mentioned Facebook earlier on. Facebook's a classic. I haven't found anywhere really does a proper Facebook training campaign. Nowhere.
Yeah,
You you
yeah,
you you just have to go and learn yourself by trial and error, which is horrendous. But this is their bread and butter, Mike. You'd think there'd be a Facebook, here's how you do it course.
yeah. And also, when you do their courses, sometimes that it's out of date with their own training. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I have like the school community, which is free, and obviously, if people want to, spend money on training, I can do that. Or if people want to, yeah, I do. Like I give everyone, I suppose, has a chance to kind of learn
Well, there's three options.
in
There's the
different ways.
there's self learn,
So yeah,
there's
self
pay
learn.
to learn,
Yeah,
or pay an expert.
yeah, essentially. Yeah, go on YouTube, join the community, and learn that way. I learned a lot from YouTube. To be honest, there's some
Yeah, but
great.
as a business owner, what we try to do is we try to be the boss, the salesman, the accountant, the technician, the website developer,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
marketing guy. We try and do all of it, okay? And the problem is because we're doing so much, we're not doing the thing that we should be doing, earning money,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
okay?
it's
And
like,
there's
like doing your tax return when you should be doing your business. It's
yeah,
like
okay. So people sometimes it's a bit of a what's an oxymoron how we look at it. We should do that. I mean, we can do a lot of it ourselves, but it's time. And that's the thing we can't get back. I think it's a lot of the time. And it's is that out
yeah,
there. There's so
yeah.
much misinformation as well when you're doing marketing. I
Oh yeah,
mean, the
yeah,
amount of the amount of courses I've been on to, well, I've actually argued with the people doing the course. It's off the scale.
yeah,
Saying that's no 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 that's not right. No 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 stuff. I actually can't go to them anymore because I've realised they're teaching you stuff that's wrong.
yeah.
Completely
It's
wrong.
terrible. Google do teach their representatives. It's a nightmare because sometimes my clients are rang up. They're rang by Google reps. They've got no experience at all in Google Ads, and given advice. And if they took that advice, it would be like they'd be wasting. They'd just be wasting their money.
What I'd like to try and do, Mike, which I think would be quite a good one for us in the group, is this: is we've got there's three options for the group. Okay, one is they've got the option to the free resource so they can go on and try and learn themselves. That's option one. Okay, option two is they look at doing a course with you.
Yeah, yeah,
Option three, okay, you give us like a Cofi Business Network package for small businesses. Well, you'll just get them all together, and if you get enough of them together, you'll sit down and do everyone's in one big swoop and just go
yeah.
crash,
That
crash,
sounds
crash through
good.
the systems, okay? And
Yeah,
personally,
sounds like a good idea.
I reckon by the time they've paid you for two, they might as well do three.
Yeah,
Because in the end, personally, I can't learn anymore. I'm too busy. I haven't got physical time to do it anymore. And as we grow as a business, we want somebody else who knows what they're doing to do this. And when you think about this, it's the only place in the world where we try and things ourselves, our business. Who right now would go and try and fix their car after watching a YouTube video? Who would go and try and pull their teeth or fix a broken arm? Okay. We don't do that. But for some reason in our business, We watch a 5 minute YouTube video and then we can't work out why we're not doing sales. Okay, that's what we do as business owners. We do it relentlessly, and then we're being told, come on this magic 5 minute course and you'll be doing $1 billion in the next 6 months, sort of thing. And so we then pay for all these different things around us. Okay, and then we just get more confused with it and stuff. And I'm a firm believer in now is that marketing needs to be done either do the course properly and that's all you do, you become a Google or Facebook specialist, and that is now your business, or you get a specialist to do it for you. But even specialist guys out there, I asked Mike because he seems to know what he's talking about. Other people I spoke to have never answered any of the questions Mike's answered to me. They just never answered them. Oh, it's just there, Rob. What's the difference in Google in the main advertiser? Oh, well, Rob, it's the same thing. No, it's not. It can't be. If it's the same thing, why is there two of them? So we'll put together for you guys a package, 3 packages. We give the link to go and have a look to do with Mike. We'll have a look at the courses, okay, and then we'll look at a Cofi Network group thing. Where hopefully, if we get enough of us together, Mike can give us a very, 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 very cheap price.
Put me on the spot now, haven't you?
Listen,
No,
Mike.
of course I'll do. Yeah, of course I'll. It's a nice group. I like the group. So you seem very attentive and very appreciative of me being here. So
Well, all business owners want to learn, Mike. That's what they want to do.
exactly, yeah,
Okay, that's the key. And it's nice that you come along and at least help people understand that these are the differences of what they're doing behind that panel. Okay, because I guarantee you, most people have never really looked at a panel properly like that. They just gone in and gone, click, advert, click, click, click. Oh, a pound a click, click, keywords. Oh, I don't know, that will do, sort of. Off you go.
yeah, yeah. And
And one of the things you'll get guys from a specialist who understands the system are they most probably already know the keywords they've got to use for most businesses. Well, we're guessing those keywords. We're hoping the words we use are what people are searching for. We never actually go and check to see if people are actually searching for those keyword tools. There's tools to do this stuff, but there's tools here, there's tools there, and you've got to go here for that. And it takes time, and it is a lot of time. I did it last year. I reckon I mostly spent 2 to 3 hours a day attempting to sort out our marketing, which in the end was not cost effective for our company because I'm not making the company money. It's not my job. Even doing sales calls now, I don't do sales calls. I've got someone who's much better than me, and that's their job to do sales calls because that's not me either. I'm good at finding clients and stuff. Once I've got them in, someone else can just take them over the line. But it's time consuming. So at certain points, you have to let go because if you don't let go, guys, we can't grow. Your business can't grow if you're doing everything. I know you want to make sure that everything is working properly, but at a point it is a matter of going, okay, I'll let go of this bit today. That bit's too much. I can't do that, and I can't do this either. And having someone go for your website, check it, give some advice, see what's not working, see what is working. Okay, and getting it working and getting the out. I mean, the best thing Mike said is about the retargeting and remarketing. And you'll know this yourselves. All of a sudden, an advert will follow you around the world. Okay, it may annoy you, but you still look at it. And what it's doing is every time you see that advert, that's reinforced in that company's brand. And then when you need that product, it's a strange thing. I mean, when you think of marketing's a strange thing, guys, because you're trying to get your product in front of somebody when they actually need it. As in, watch this. Every single person on this site has to buy food. Fact. But if you saw an advert, if you went shopping yesterday, seeing an advert that the food's irrelevant to you because you've already bought food, but you still need food. So how do you target somebody also when they actually need the product you're doing? Remarketing, because when you do need food, they're going to think of the company they've seen the most for that particular food. So remarketing works again well because when they want that product, you want them to think, oh, I need Katrina. That's what I need. I need that company. That's why you do remarketing, guys, and it does work. Because people will remember your name, and without that, they won't come back to you.
yeah, it's powerful. Yeah, powerful. I think it's a brand needs to be seen and 11 times, sometimes before a person will actually take action.
Yeah,
Do
and take action means 11 times means they see the advert 11
yeah.
times before they click through to your website. It's not buying, that's just a click with who you are. Okay, so if you do a nationwide campaign, you're never going to get the remarketing to work because your budget won't push to it. That's why you do local, guys. You do local because your budget can go further. As in, if it costs £1 to remarket 100 people and you're targeting 1 million people, those 100 people will never get remarketed. But if you're targeting 10 people with a pound, all of them will get remarketed 10 times. That's why you narrow down how many people you're targeting at any one point in time. Then that helps you to grow your business. And again, I'm saying, guys, listen to this. We're not Sainsbury's and we're not Tesco's. And why we're targeting someone in Timbuktu, I don't know. Okay, but that's what we're doing. Narrow it down. Go local. When you're bigger, you can expand outwards. But for now, it's all about the local. Anyway, guys, I'm always talking too much. Has anybody else apart from me?
I
Sorry.
do.
Go on, Joyce.
Okay, so you were talking about local search ads, but you were talking about like plumbers and stuff like that. So what about someone who isn't in the trades? So like a life coach, will they accept me on their local search ads?
No, not for local search ads, because they're mainly for businesses that, like say, the electricians, carpenters, because obviously when they go into someone's house, if they're a cowboy, they could cause a lot of damage, I suppose. So it's a way of guaranteeing that that company is legit. In terms of life coaches, not, I mean, maybe in the future they might open it up to life coaches. But if you have a Google page, then you could appear that way in the local maps as an ad.
So, Joyce,
So
that's what I was
a
saying
Google
earlier on with the
business
Google local.
page.
Remember earlier on I said about getting a Google local page? That's what Mike's talking about. Where if someone typed in life coach where you
Yeah,
live, okay,
yeah.
you'll appear fourth. You can appear fourth on Google, but next it will be a map showing your location so that people can see how close you are to them.
Yeah,
Okay, so this isn't local search ad.
yeah.
This is
It's a bit. I know it's a bit. Difference is it's slightly different. A local search ad is for a particular types of businesses.
so
Home,
I want a Google business page.
yeah, Google Business page.
And then what you do, Joyce, is you do a
Yeah.
Google Ads advert, but you only target it locally.
Right.
Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean the Google Maps ad can appear relatively, I suppose maybe further away than an organic one would, because organic maps searches the business tends to be, out of say 10 miles, usually you're lower on the Google Maps organically. But if you're running an ad, if you're further away, you'll still be higher on the Google search on the maps.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Ish.
Ish. Yeah. So yeah, so it's a way of kind of, I suppose, paying to play and kind of,
So what?
get.
Yeah, what Mike means is that let's say, for instance, you lived in Bedford, okay, and you targeted the Bedford area, but you wanted to go a bit further out around Bedford and say go towards, say, Milton and Keynes, for instance, which is also close by. You'd have a Google local page. You do a Google local advert. Then when that advert appears, if it appears in the local search, by default, it will force you to the top, even though technically you're not local.
Okay.
It looks like a glitch in the system. Hi, Salisha, you have a question?
I do. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you, Mike.
Yeah, nice to
Thank you
meet
for
you.
that. Thank you for that presentation. It was really good, and I'm glad Rob's found you. So thank you, Rob, as well. Yeah. So this is a topic that I struggle with. I've done Google Ads before. I've spoken to Google reps. I've spent loads of money. Well, not loads to everybody, but to me it was loads, and got no results basically. Because yeah, the advice given was what I followed, and it didn't really get anything, and I just gave up, and then I quit and I left it.
Mm.
So my question to you is, so I make handmade products, candles and chocolate bouquets, so sort of more gifting stuff. So very low ticket. And it doesn't really make sense for me to, spend too much on ads. So my question is, what would you suggest I should be spending to like for it to make a dent and to actually get any sales from it? Because I'm trying to just figure out if I start ads and I started too low and it's not worth it, it's not going to give any return, or I've got to be at a certain amount per month in order to see the results. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, it is when you're first starting off, it is all about testing. So, spend maybe £5 a day and see what the results are. You might see that, you're spending £5 a day and you're getting so much revenue back, for example. So you think, oh, okay, so if I spend a bit more, then I might get more revenue from that spend.
But what if you're not getting anything back from it?
If you're not getting anything back from it, then obviously something needs changing. Could be is it I guess it's an e-commerce website you're selling products from.
Yeah, I've got both actually. I've got a store and the online side of things. Yeah, the website as well.
Yeah, because it's also worth looking at making sure that the website is robust and can, there's no bugs in there. Like, for example, if you're getting a lot of visitors from Google Ads but they're not converting,
yeah,
sometimes it can be the website that's the problem.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, if you're not getting any clicks on the ad itself, then usually it's the ad that's a problem. So then you can diagnose with
what
that
the issue is. Yeah.
what the issue is. Yeah, or you could be getting lots of add to carts but no purchases.
Yeah.
So it may be that it's too complicated for someone to enter their payment details.
Right. Okay.
So it's diagnosing which bit needs improving.
This is where I think, Lisa, sometimes we're not given the right advice. You're just told to do an advert without looking at the end result of where the advert's going to, the landing page, and what you're landing on, for instance, with that. And sometimes what we do, for instance, someone asked me my opinion of, if I had a website, what would it be? I'd go to have a landing page, there'd be a big button that said, pay me. Anything else. So sometimes what we do is we give information overload. For instance, if you're promoting your products, then they should land on the product page. If they're landing on a page, not a product page, you've lost them. Because if they've clicked on an ad to buy a product, let them buy a product. And what we do sometimes is if we build these websites and take e-commerce, the only thing that should be on an e-commerce website is products. About you, about me, my background, my history. It's all nice, but it's actually irrelevant when you think about it. Okay, you're just confusing people with too much information. I think the term is kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah.
What do you want? Oh my God, everything, you've lost them. Let's say, for instance, if you were promoting a Valentine's Day products, they should land on the Valentine's page. Straight away, bam, straight in, they're there, they click, they buy. Okay, that's sometimes that's where we go wrong. Okay, I think we try and be overly clever with what we do, and in the end, we should be doing things a lot easier, a lot simpler. Most of your websites are fine, okay, but marketing does work. If marketing didn't work, no one would use it. It's working, and the companies, they've obviously worked out a winning formula. Okay, and if, like Mike said, he got 10 to 1. If you guys suddenly realized that you could spend right now £1 and you could do £10 in revenue, you'd all be fighting to get hold of Mike and beat him up and be the first ones to use him. Okay, that's the key.
Yeah.
Okay, we will never achieve those numbers. I know that as a fact. Okay, if I achieve 1 to 1, I'd be happy. It's So yeah. So I think what we'll do is, guys, listen, guys. In the network, I've loaded up a Google sheet asking for all your company details like names, websites, etc. Okay, if we get all those put together, I can give them to Mike and ask him to have a look at all of them and just give us a price to fix everything for everybody in one go. By doing that, that keeps Mike's cost down because he's got one big job to do, and you guys get a bargain and it goes through the system. And I think that might be the easiest approach to do things for now. And if Mike's doing that at the same time, I'm going to do this one, he might be able to also have a quick gander at your Google local pages. Jane.
Can I ask a question about that, Rob? Obviously, you've done it in a WhatsApp, which is on phone. If I've typed in my name and I've typed in my website, but I've got to find my Facebook. I don't do TikTok. I tend to do.
Oh no! All you do is I only want the information for what you do. If you only do Facebook, only put in Facebook. Ignore everything else.
I do LinkedIn as well. Does anybody else do LinkedIn?
We do LinkedIn, but what I'm going to say to you guys is, and hopefully Mike will say this one, is this: is better to be a master of one than an amateur of all of them. Okay. I know there's a right. Let me give you a mathematical calculation here for you guys. Okay, as a fact, nearly everyone uses Facebook. My daughters quote my daughters the other day, Dad, we never use Facebook. Only old people do. I went, you're a liar because you like all my posts. So you must be using Facebook. Oh yeah, Dad. No, don't. The biggest one is Facebook, followed by Instagram. But the difference is billions. Facebook on a daily basis is users, but the other reason why I don't go to Facebook is it's a less crowded platform. People don't post nonstop on Facebook. On the other platforms, people are always posting, so your post is amongst millions of posts again. Okay, that's why I tend to go down the Facebook route because I know that most people will use Facebook. LinkedIn is more of a B2B thing. So if you're doing B2C sales, you don't. LinkedIn's not your place, but for Jane it is.
But obviously, LinkedIn is I'm B2B, aren't I?
We are, but advertising works. Google advertising works for B2B.
Oh, right, okay.
If you know what you're doing. That's the problem.
Which I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I'm failing miserably. But I know it works. I've seen people make it work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
But obviously it will save on your form if I'm doing it off my phone.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What will happen is, Jane, is if when on that that's just an Excel spreadsheet, okay? So if I go to it now, all I've done is also Excel Word. All I've done is I've just set up the that sheet so that I can get everyone's details, okay? And then once everyone's details, the idea is so name, website, So if you only do Facebook, just do Facebook, because what the idea is,
I do Facebook and LinkedIn. So are you saying you just want the Facebook?
Well, technically, it's for
this
is to help us all. This is for the thing is, Jane. This is for us to help each other share each other's posts on what I call general social media. And most of us don't. I mean, I log into LinkedIn once every 2 weeks, if that.
Okay? No, I'm on LinkedIn quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay, right. There, but this is just for now. But for now, if I get everyone's names, business names, and websites, okay. We can
Where's the spreadsheet?
Sorry. If you look on the WhatsApp group, it's pinned to the top.
Okay, I don't think I'm part of the WhatsApp group.
Ah, right, Joyce. I will send you I'll send you an invite.
Thank you.
To that, yeah. And the idea then, guys, is he'll get a list of like 15, 20 websites. He can then go right. These are B2C, these are retailers. Because the retailers will all have the same demographics. But they're all different areas. It doesn't matter. So once he's got one done, he can mirror it through. And he go, oh, right. And these are the B2B sites. He can go, right. B2B sites. Here's how we're going to do them. Because remember this, even though you're a B2B business, you're still looking for local businesses to help out. You don't need to go national. You can go local. Okay. And then if we do that, guys, what will happen is we will all be able to get at least it sorted out once and forever. Once it's running and Mike's done it, it's a matter of checking and making sure that it's all going in the right place. But as a job lot, we can use the group power, guys, to do this properly. And this is going to be a big thing for our 2026. Okay, it is, and I've seen we spend a lot of money on marketing as a company. We do. Jane will tell you that. She's seen our seeing our budgets and stuff. We really do, but it's working.
So
It's
you're
working
just saying
because
I just need to put my Facebook in then, Rob. I don't
yeah,
need
just for
to.
now, your Facebook, yeah,
Okay,
okay.
that's fine.
And tell the truth, Jane, I ran out of space on the page. It was going to get. I couldn't put anything else
All
onto
right. Well,
it.
I couldn't work out. Obviously I'm looking at it now. Obviously there's my name and then there's my website and I've just got to fill in the Facebook. I
Correct.
couldn't work out if it was going to save what I was putting in.
Oh yeah,
And
no, it
obviously
has.
it
I can see
can.
it, Jane. I can see you putting the name on the website and it's
Yeah.
saved.
So I've just
Do you
got
put
to
everything in there, it will save it.
I've just got to find I've just got to do I copy and paste
Yeah,
my
yeah. Just copy your Facebook
Facebook?
link and paste it in. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got to go on, I've just got to go on to my business Facebook page and then obviously
So as a question, Mike, when you say you can optimize the Google local pages, now this is one of my I've I did Jane's and we sort of got it working, didn't we, Jane? Sort
yeah.
of. But I did say to them, guys, remember this, I'm not an expert. I have a saying, Mike, of the team. I go to people, do you know what makes someone an expert? An expert, Mike, is somebody who just happens to know a little bit more than you do. All right. So all of a sudden, I'm only an expert because I just know a bit more, but I'm not really an expert. I'm self-taught in everything because I just have been. Okay. But I said to them, I've never sat down properly and actually looked at how to do it. And I'm sure that if you took a gander at everyone's Google local pages, most probably in 5 minutes, you could point out where and how to make them work better. That's the key. Because again, Google local, I told them, does work.
Yeah, it's pretty crucial these days. ChatGPT use it to get a lot of information.
Yeah. I mean, one of my friends, I don't know how he done it. He hasn't got a clue what he's done either, but most of his jobs come from Google local and he has no idea. And I can't work out what he's done differently to what I've done either. It just somehow he fluked it, got it right the first time, and it works. And he's just never touched it again. He just posts pictures once a month of his jobs in the gardens, and that's all he does.
That sounds like a good strategy to me.
Yeah, because he says when people search on Google, let's say I type plumber, the first three are paid adverts, but they're just adverts. Then I see a map, and I see my house. I go, oh, he's close. I'll use him. That's literally how Google Local works. Most people searching online are still looking for a local business to work with. Okay, guys, and that's why. And around our houses now, there are 100,000 people around where we live. That is more than enough for any business owner of our size to work with.
Your town was on the telly last night, Rob.
Huntingdon.
No, where you live. I'm not saying where you live, but where you live.
That's okay. Don't worry. It's a big town.
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, you're outside Huntingdon, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Love It or List It with Phil and Kirsty.
You mean love it or leave it if it's Huntingdon? Good God, no.
No, it was Love It or List It, and the couple putting the house up for sale because they want to buy one of those houses on the How in St Ives.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yes. Yes. But again, you see, anything you can remember, guys, anything you can do to improve your how you are, what you do. I mean, if you look at sometimes people call businesses lucky you get work. Lucky means you've put something in the right place at the right time. Okay, I'll give you for instance, Hannah was out filming. We follow a race driver around. And while she's out filming, just happened to be the guy called Thomas Brody Doyle, the actor. And he was there at Silverstone racing. Okay, he was the little boy who was in Love Actually, who played the drums.
Really?
Yeah, anyway, he's now a famous actor. He happened to be at Silverstone. So Hannah just said, while she was there, oh, can I just put a camera in your car? He went, yes. So we put a VR camera in his car. And just before Christmas, guys, we get a phone call from the One Show. And they goes, we've been on YouTube and we found that you've got some video of Thomas racing. He happened to be in a kids movie where he's playing a mouse who's a race driver. So they said to us, can we use your footage on the One Show? So we said yes, and they put our footage, and they said footage courtesy of Hi-Fi VR on the One Show, which we now say we've made programs for the One Show. Okay, and it's all about just potluck. We filmed him, we were there, they found it, makes us look bigger, and then all of a sudden that grows your thing. So sometimes you go out and do things, guys, because you can. Make videos of things because you can, post them onto YouTube because you never know who's learning. And I learned that from a guy that does a program, I think, on Channel 4 called, I think it's like or Marriage at First Sight, whatever it is. And he told me that when he launched, he spent like $200,000 on videos, put them on YouTube, and they had 8 views. And he goes, he thought one was him, one was his wife, and six were his mum. It turns out one was him, one was his wife, 5 were his mum, and one was Oprah Winfrey. And she gave him a job. So you never know who's watching what. And that's why you post everything you do. You post it online. You write things about things. You do things because people are always looking. And if you're in the right place at the right time, you'll be surprised what you can get. And never be shy of telling people what you do. As business owners and stuff, we have a bad habit of not telling people what we do because we're embarrassed, because we think it's wrong. But if you don't tell people, no one will know what you do. Okay. I mean, the other day, Jane, Hannah said she was away somewhere and she started telling people about things. And she said to me, she goes, oh my God, she goes, I suddenly realized, she goes, I'm becoming more like you. Because she's pulling out the VR.
But,
Hannah,
but have you noticed, I don't like to talk about bookkeeping because I think I get 1 or 2 sentences in and I just see people glaze over and I think, oh God, they're already bored because they don't want to talk about credit control. They don't want to talk
but Jane,
about
they don't, okay, but it's not it's how you say it. What I would say is go, listen, guys, I don't want to bore you. I'll keep it short. I'm a bookkeeper. I know you find it boring. Here's my business card.
Yeah, and
That's
leave
it,
it at
Jane.
that. Yeah.
Short and sweet, okay? Because they know they hate it. You've told them they hate it, okay? Business, and then you go, oh, what do you do? And that's it, Jane. They will remember that because it was so short and sweet. Okay, people remember what you said because oh God, that was and again they know, because it's book. If you said to me bookkeeping, Jane, my eyes will flip back. I'm like a shark. I'm asleep. Okay, I can't do it. But as someone said, I'm a bookkeeper. Here's my card. Oh, that's cool. In my pocket, off I go. So sometimes you can keep it short and sweet and funny.
Yeah.
Hand them a card because then they know what you do, Jane. That's all you got to do is say the word bookkeeper card. Give me a call. And
unless they ask questions that they want to know, then that's
correct.
obviously
but then
fine.
that's good though. But then questions are good. But you haven't. Once they ask questions, then you can monologue.
Yeah. I just don't like boring them. I enjoy bookkeeping, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, but that's what you say to them. You say to them, unlike you, I enjoy bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our most successful adverts. Remember, like Hannah did an advert. Like we spent a year and a half trying to get adverts made, and we did adverts. We made them. We made all these amazing professional adverts. Yeah. Fail. One day, Hannah's in Greece, and we just went, Hannah, just make an advert. So she goes, her husband was asleep. She got a camera out, put it up, and the opening line was, "Are you sick of it? Are you sick of doing adverts?" And then the response we got from that advert was off the scale. People used to ring us up going, "I'm sick of it. How can you help me?"
Yeah.
Okay, so when sometimes we try too hard, we try and overthink the simplicity. Yeah. And what's that term, Watson's? It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
If you watch me, people go, like, take our TV adverts. People go, well, what do you do? And I go, we help businesses get their companies on television for 4p per view. That's all I say. And they go, how? Now I'll tell them. Everyone's intrigued. What do you mean 4p TV? It says it on the tin. Okay. And that's how you grab people's attention. You haven't got to do any more. If you spend 30 seconds explaining what you do, it means you haven't explained what you do. Mm-hmm. There was a guy the other day, he spent 2 minutes on one of the chats, sorry, Mike, And when he finished, I thought, what's he do? I had no idea at all. Seriously, I had no idea what he did. It was not clear whatsoever. And I'm sure he could have said it in a much shorter time, but he confused people. He was telling people what he solved, but he didn't tell us what he did.
No.
You know, if you're a mechanic, what do you do? I'm a mechanic. Oh, you fix cars. Good. Excellent. My car needs fixing. If he said, what do you do? Well, I work on engines. That's not a mechanic. That's someone who builds engines. It's a different, oh, I don't need you. I don't need my engine built. I need a mechanic. So, yeah. So just keep it simple, guys. Okay. So, yeah. So, any more questions for young Mike?
No.
Excellente. So, guys, so now we're all Google Ads experts. Okay.
No.
Which
No, we're going to give it to Mike to do.
the thing is, guys, is that it advertising works. Okay, that is just a fact. Okay, and you can get good ROI for your money. Sometimes it just takes someone to look at what we're doing wrong, and sometimes it could be just clicking a button. Simple, it can be something as simple as that we're doing wrong, just that we haven't seen it because we're too close to it. Okay, so 2026, I'm going to give you all a target for 2026. By the end of the year, I want you to tell me if you can work out what percentage of your turnover you've spent on marketing. Okay, because what we should see is think of the Premier League football. Let me give you a fact. The team that spent the most money wins the league. The team that spent the least money gets demoted. And that is a statistical fact. Season in, season out. Okay, every year, the top spending teams win the league, the lowest spending teams go down. And that is whether it's football, whether it's business, is always the same thing. Okay, that's just the way it is with business. Okay, and if that's how the world works, we as small business owners have to grasp that and take it forward. Okay, whether it's doing Google AdWords, whether it's doing B2B marketing shows, whether it's doing leaflets, whether it's doing flyers, doesn't matter what it is, guys. We have to be doing something to tell people who we are. If we don't, we can't expect to succeed if no one knows who we are.
Very true. Obscurity is a business killer.
It is. It is. Okay. And that's where most businesses fall down. It's not because they're doing bad products. It's not because the website's bad. It's because they're not getting people to visit them. They're sitting down and hoping something will happen. If you're sitting at home now and you've got no clients, okay, hoping is not going to help you. It really isn't. Okay. You need to bite the bullet and spend money not on yourself. Spend it on something that's going to help you grow your business. Okay, that's the way to do it.
On my Google Local, which obviously you helped set up, Rob, I can see I've got visitors, but I haven't, apart from a few photos that you said to put on, I need to be consistent and put like blogs on and that sort of thing. But I don't
on Google
know.
Local, one of the things I didn't tell. See, this is me being slack. I am. See, in Google Local, you can put offers. So if you've got guests going to Google Local and they see an offer of 10% off something, that's at the moment that's what we're not doing. That's really Mike's help because I've given you I've got it set up, but I haven't done it properly. You've taken me to the limits of what I've learned so far. But there's things out there like with offers, and you can do blogs, and so these are Google use these and aggregate them through the system. If you do an offer locally and someone types pizza and someone's got a pizza offer, Google will show it to them.
Yeah.
It's an offer for them locally. Okay, so sometimes you might be worth doing a 5-minute audit of your business free of charge, Jane. Something, but go on there. But I'm sure
obviously what I can offer is if anybody wants a health score on their accounts, if it's in the cloud, I can offer that free service. I can't touch anything. It's just obviously read only. If someone says to me, just say for instance it's you, Rob, and you go, yeah, all my bookkeeping's up to date. Would you like a health check on it? Oh yes, please. So it comes on my system. I do the health check and I go, well, actually, Rob, out of 100%, your health scores 47, which is obviously not good. Now, if it come back and said it was 97, then that is, I keep my clients round about the 97. That's where I try and keep my clients at 97%. It's not always easy when they're looking for paperwork and paperwork's missing, because it shows everything that's missing. So obviously that's the freebie I can give to somebody if they just want to know
Well, see,
what
then
their health check is.
that's I'm assuming, Mike, that should be on your Google local page, shouldn't it, as an offer?
Well, a free
Health
Health
check.
check. Yeah,
yeah,
on your book.
yeah. Anything that attracts attention.
Yeah.
Anything that it's attracting attention. Yeah, as Rob said, really, by kind of hooking people in.
Yeah.
To when they're reading.
Because a lot of people you ask, you say, how good are your books? And they say, oh yeah, they're fine. And then when you put them into the software and the software goes through it, I had one, they said, oh, well, we know we're a little bit wrong. They were only 8%. The accounts were an absolute mess. I've never, ever seen it that bad. Yes, okay, they're around about the 80%, and we're still working on them. But yeah, it's just so that's my freebie. As I say, they just want a health check and they go away and they think, well, okay, I'm 74%, I'm okay. Not really. You ought to be sort of around about the 96%. So, but yeah. So that's something I could put on my Google local then.
Yeah, I guess selling the benefit of it as well.
Yeah.
Why they should do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably costing them a lot of money having their accounts in bad health.
Yeah.
And
I'm obviously offering it free of charge.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a good offer. Yeah. It's the way it's worded. It's attracting attention.
Yeah.
And getting them.
See, words are not my forte. Give me a shoebox full of receipts and invoices, and I'm as happy as a pig in, excuse my French, shit. But words, nah. No.
Right, quick one, Joyce. I've just put a link in the chat. Click on that, and then I can give you access into the group. And then anyone hasn't clicked on it yet, click on that link, and I'll let you in. Okay, and we'll go from there. Right, guys. I would say thank you to Mike. That was brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Very informative. Mike.
That's opened up. I must admit, there's things that I said, guys, I weren't aware of, and I still do Google. I do look at Google AdWords. I don't do Google AdWords, Mike. I promote our videos on YouTube using Google Ads.
Okay. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant way of boosting the numbers. Makes us look much better. Again, smoke and mirrors. We use it because it costs like 1p per view.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
Videos. It's absolutely brilliant to do. And especially when you've got a YouTube channel, it needs to look used. That's what we do. That's the only thing I can do well on Google Ads. Is boosting my YouTube channel, and that's it, Mike. Yeah. Okay. Right, guys. Thank you for that. Okay, Mike. You can get access to the page as people load it up to have a look through it. Okay, I'll make sure that everyone puts their business onto it. Okay, and then we'll see if we can get everyone's sites working. And listen, guys, if you can get a 3-to-1 ratio for £1 spent, £3 back, that's good. Okay, if you can get 10-to-1, that's exceptional. But 3 and 4-to-1 is a good ratio. Okay, to look at, and that's what we got to sort of look at initially. And just getting sales is good.
Yeah.
Okay, right, guys. Thank you for that. Next week.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Next week,
Thank
guys,
you very much,
afraid,
Mike and Rob.
Yeah. The good news, guys. Over the next 5 weeks, we've got quite a few people coming up, giving you all sorts of tips, from fitness to running businesses to personal development. Okay. Next week you have my dulcet tones, I'm afraid to say, and I'm going to be nagging you about networking. Okay.
Yes, I do want to ask you something, but I'll ask you it next week, Rob, or I might put it in a chat.
Yeah. Okay. So networking and what we should be doing to get ourselves out there, and not to be Don't be embarrassed. That's the key. Networking's hard if you're embarrassed. Okay, you need to let go of the embarrassment and embrace being embarrassed. All right, guys. So listen, guys, thanks for that. Thank you, Mike. That's brilliant. Okay, and
Thank you.
let's see if we can get all these businesses into another level. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Cheers, then.
Thank
Bye,
you. Good
guys.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Speak soon.